What kind of scam are they trying to get you to buy? Because there's lots of different scams out there. I get one all the time. Hey, you've been approved. I just need to finish your paperwork to give you a loan for $100 million. I get probably 7, 8 of those calls a day. Hey, just want to check in with you. We're finishing up the paperwork on your loan. I just need a few pieces of information, and we can finish that off. Those are constant. I get some for a warranty on my car. I get some for I get a lot for bill collectors looking for other people. I get scam calls every single day. They're so annoying. I've got 2 phone numbers. I got 2 cell phones. I want to get rid of my first number that has an old Florida number, but I've had it for 15, 20 years. Everybody I know professionally has it, and I've tried to wean myself off of that phone. But every time I tell everybody, hey, use this new 804 number, I still get tons of phone calls, so I just haven't gotten rid of that. But I'm about ready to, because I'm just tired of all the scam calls. How much time are you wasting? How much money are you wasting? Thank goodness I know not to pick those up. How many times does that happen to you? And I think I'm pretty tech savvy. I understand what phishing is. Does everybody get what phishing is? That's when somebody poses to be someone else, and they'll send you a little note, or they'll send you an email asking you to click on this link, and then they're able to get into your computer, find out your personal information, steal your identity, and go off and do their dastardly deeds. It happens quite a bit in America. That's why you get these phone calls constantly. That just proved positive this is an issue. If they didn't have success, they would move on to something else. But if you're getting 7, 8 phone calls a day, that means that there's some success. They've got your number, and they're not even real numbers. That's the thing that makes me the maddest. They're not even a real telephone number. Like, you can call back like, hey, listen, you so-and-so, stop calling me. A lot of times they're Google numbers where they're using voice over IP, voice over internet protocol. They're not even real telephone numbers. They're calling from a computer, and you can't trace it back. The financial impact, according to the U.S. State Department, online scam rings in the region, this is just in Asia, $10 billion. $10 billion. So while Marco Rubio was in Manila last week, he coordinated regional enforcement strategies along with his international counterparts to try to dismantle these decentralized fraud rings. Couple things that they've decided to do. He announced strict U.S. visa denials for foreign nationals and family members linked to overseas cybercrime and investment scam operations. Federal investigators are previously flagged an artificial intelligence campaign where a known actor used clone audio and signal messages to pose as Rubio for foreign ministers and officials. That's how bad it is. They've got an AI that sounds just like Marco Rubio hitting up foreign officials trying to leave messages. So right now, the State Department, Marco Rubio goes, enough is enough. Thank goodness. Hey, Marco, go get the job done. Find those people that are scamming Americans and do something about it. That's why he and Judge Janine were over there to combat this. Organizing a regional enforcement. Why is it that the U.S. Congress has time to do everything else under the sun? Here's one where I'm telling you $10 billion is being stolen from Americans just in that part of the world. Why hasn't the president? Why hasn't the Senate? Why hasn't Congress? Why hasn't the House of Representatives? Why hasn't anyone done anything to push back against these countries that allow that to happen? The internet providers that allow that to happen, the phone companies that allow that to happen. Why is no one pushed back against any of this? The only thing I see flying out the door is $10 billion of U.S. dollars heading towards scammers because we're getting ripped off. See, there's a lot of reasons why we have the federal government to protect us. Wouldn't this be one where if you know your people are getting ripped off and being taken advantage of by criminals in another country, wouldn't you have the State Department go out there and tell that country, hey, you people that are allowing this to go on in your countries, knock it off? Wouldn't this be one where the FBI would think of going after these people, the U.S. Justice Department, go after these people that are ripping off Americans? You would think that would be something that would be in their purview. And I wonder how many of these countries we give foreign aid to, as well as the foreign aid that they're helping themselves to by scamming us on the phone. So I'd love to hear, help me out. Just, I need to understand this. And this, we'll crowdsource this, meaning we'll ask everybody this question. How many of you get scammer calls, and what do they ask for? Again, mine is, hey, you've been pre-approved for this incredible loan at 0.2%, and we'll give you $50,000 and you don't have to pay it back for 3 years. I get those all the time. What scams do you get? What scams do you get? I'd love to hear. Help me out a little bit. 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. I did get one text message. I'll read this a little early because we read best text messages 6:55, 7:55, 8:55, then 9:33. We get the experiment where we open up the phones for you. Doug in Mechanicsville, why is a U.S. District Judge, Janine Pirro, wasting our time and money on Philippine scam callers? Doesn't United States District Judge have more important blank to do by trying to get a grand jury on Alejandro Mayorkas or something to get a conviction of the deep state? Okay, so it goes on and on. Doug, here's where I gotta push back. Judge Janine is no longer a U.S. District Judge. If she was a U.S. District Judge, she down there, I'm like, why would she be down there with Marco Rubio? She's the federal prosecutor for the D.C. District. So she's actually part of the Justice Department. So she's down there as a federal prosecutor trying to push back against these scammers. So I just wanted to check that with you, that when I say Judge Janine, that's because people know her from Fox News as Judge Janine, but she's actually a U.S. federal prosecutor now. She's no longer a sitting judge. So the fact that she's down there absolutely makes 100% sense to have a federal prosecutor down there looking into going after, trying to stop these scammers from ripping us off. So I wanted to point that out, because a lot of times, and I do it too sometimes, I've got to listen to things, watch things, look at things 5 different times just to make sure I got everything correct. So when we say Judge Janine, again, it's simply because that's what people know her from her time working at Fox, but she's not a judge anymore. So absolutely 100%. I'm glad she's down in the Philippines trying to push back on this as hard as they can. As far as trying to go after those deep state folks, a lot of them, I think, did nefarious stuff. Anthony Fauci is going to go before Rand Paul tomorrow in the Senate committee. Whether they did immoral stuff, egregious stuff is one thing. Whether they broke the law is another. And just because it was immoral what they did doesn't necessarily mean they broke a U.S. code or in violation of U.S. law. And there's a big, thick line between the two that looks razor thin at times as well. Thank you for the text message. I'm getting some others text messages. Donna Powhatan says, don't answer the call. Easy to do. Tougher when you get 7-8 telephone calls a day from different numbers pretending to be someone else. So I wish it were that easy, but it gets to be annoying after a while. 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140, the number for you to join us. Who sends you horrible text messages trying to scam you? Who makes those horrible telephone calls? And I'm really interested in what they try to scam you. What are their offers that they get to try to hook you into doing something that would cost you money somewhere down the line? 833-804-1140, the number for you to join us here on the program. Today's program is brought to you in part by Men's Wellness Centers. Men's Wellness Centers, there's 3 locations.